Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear Neuroguard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room, and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out Neuroguard Plus.
Neuroguard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
Neuroguard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So Neuroguard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, Neuroguard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, Neuroguard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, everybody, now's the time. Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On one, ready? Go, 13! Coming up, go, 13!
Week 4 of the high school football season. I am Terry Bennett. That is Grant Goodwin, and we're here to talk a little 2A football, brought to you by Neuroguard Plus. And I know we always say this, I know it's generic, but damn it, the season starts to fly by at this point.
Yeah, it really does. Kind of look up, and we're almost to district, and almost to that. Actually, those bye weeks, right? They start some of them this week, maybe not necessarily in 2A, but next week's bye weeks. Yep. The week after that's bye weeks, and then we're like full-fledged district, and playoffs will be nigh upon us.
Speaking of, we're going to be taking a kind of a mini bye week next week. We're going to do some kind of content, but it'll be one show. It won't be a 2A, 3A, 4A. And I'm thinking I'll probably do what I've done over the last few years and just call in some of the regional guys and kind of talk, like with Chris Welch on our High Plains Huddle show, and then Kenny Heath or Ryan Fox on our Central Texas. Do a little bit of that and just kind of talk.
Hit around the state.
Yeah, kind of
in my absence.
Yeah, your an unexcused absence. Make sure
sorry, it's rehab. I gotta go.
Make sure your
court appointed rehab.
Make sure your dad calls in Tuesday though. And
my dad?
Oh yeah, it's an unexcused absence. You got it.
Oh, okay.
Your dad's got.
How about a rehab doctor's note?
Rehab doctor.
Yeah.
Don't Amy Winehouse it. That's all I'm gonna ask. All right, is this
more
the
like Lindsay Lohan?
Oh, hey, she's rebuilt her career. She's back doing movies. She's doing all the good things.
We'll be in neighboring rooms.
I don't think she lives in rehab.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she's cleaned her life up.
Well, then I wouldn't have agreed to this.
Speaking of, if you're gonna live life, you do it the Charlie Sheen way. Go.
Did you watch that?
Yes. Go awesome. Scorched earth for 10 years and then just clean up.
and
Like,
say,
I'm
that
done.
was crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
My bad. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, I promise you we don't just have Hollywood Insider shows. What we do here on the 2A show is, well, we talk Texas 2A. We review the week that was, we preview the week that is, and it's 2A. That means we just jump right into it. That means let's talk what happened in week 3, and it was an action-packed week. Where do you want to start, Mr. Goodwin?
Let's go with those Refugio Bobcats, man. 48-21 over a very good 3A Edna team. Ray Lewis runs for 135 yards, 3 touchdowns. Xander Willis runs for 72 yards and 5 carries. Refugio had a total of 266 yards rushing, and the defense all but shut down Edna. I think 7 of those 21 points was late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about them and Ganado. They're the class down there in that little area. And, I know Edna has started slow, but this still is impressive to me to punch up on Edna the way they did.
Yeah, I mean, Edna, they might be a little bit down. They lost their running back to Columbus, right? Who's not really lighting it up down in Columbus right now. Had a couple of turnovers.
Well, he's having the yards, but he's two key turnovers.
Mistakes, that have cost. I'm not going to say cost him the games because you don't lose a game on one play, but he's had a couple of instances where it did not help them in the loss. But Edna is still a really good 3A team, and they're still a region threat. Right,
I think
in
so. I think
region.
they'll form. I think they'll round into
the
form.
way Refugio just works them over 48-21. I mean, what are the odds that they're not in Arlington in December?
Yep, I agree. All right, let's go to Stratford thumping Sunray 61-0.
Are we going to call it on Sunray now? I mean, Sunray's got two losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one's definitely not competitive. Stratford's Abraham Goss runs for 126 yards on 6 carries. Darius Jones, 143 yards receiving. We can talk about the Sunray quarterback graduating, right? But he was also a really good safety, and that Sunray defense was really good last year. Right now, that Sunray defense and the offense just not clicking.
Well, they're 0-3, but I mean, we do have to acknowledge they've played, Hooker, Oklahoma, which is a very good Oklahoma team.
Hooker.
You're 5-year-old. Abernathy, a solid team. They lost by 4. I think Sunray's going.
But those were games they were winning last year.
Well, but they had a special group last year. I mean,
right. I know.
I
and that's what I'm saying.
This is more just growing pains, and they'll figure it out. Let's remember that, as great as Luann was when he first started, his first year, they were 4-7. I think this is a team that's going to round into form. And again,
but are they going to do it this year?
I don't know. I mean, again,
we're talking this year. Next year, yeah.
Well,
maybe so.
We would have earlier. You kind of penciled them in as at least, even if they're taking a step back, you go, hey, look, that's okay. In that district, and I still think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine in district.
But then you have a team like Stinnett, West Texas, pulling off the upset
over
this
Groover,
week over
right?
Groover,
yeah.
30-28. So maybe there's a little bit more. 36-28. I'm like you, man. I can't see the screen tonight. 36-28. So maybe there's a little bit of concern that. By the way, before we move on, we brought up Abernathy. We want to give our thoughts and prayers to Abernathy sophomore Case Hendrich, who injuries against Littlefield last week. They put him in a medically induced coma. They relieved the swelling from the brain. He is expected to be okay, but that's still a process. Man, medically induced comas sound not that it's easy, but okay, put them out. But man, those things, when they bring you out, a lot of weird things can happen. So be keeping his family and the Abernathy program in your thoughts, and hopefully he'll be okay. It feels like we're having one of those years where, man, we're getting a lot of, at the college and high school level, a lot of those stinger head injury type things. And it kind of runs in cycles. And this has been a lot of them, it felt like early this year so far.
Yeah, it has.
All right.
This technique. And, if you're not feeling it, tap out, go to the sideline. It's all about safety now, right?
That's the hardest thing to do for players. Let's go ahead and stick in one to a Division I, because Panhandle got beat by Dalhart 42
Yeah.
to 35. A little surprised by that. Not that, Dalhart's a 3A team and they're gonna out depth them. In fact, I think they're 3A Division 1 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But still, I was a little surprised by how this game turned out. Last year they lost to Panhandle 43 to 21. Maybe that's just Dalhart's a better team in 3A this year because they are 2-1 with their only loss being to Perryton by 1 point, and Perryton's a pretty solid 3A team themselves this year.
Yeah, I feel like Panhandle's fine, and Brock's and I trust, so I think they're going to be fine. Maybe a little bit of an upset, but maybe by the end of the year, we're going to see Dalhart was a pretty good team up in 3A Division 1. How about Post 33, Seagrave 16? I think we had no, that was Abernathy we were talking about, but Post, Post has just put together the last basically 16 games have been on a tear.
Yeah,
they're kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles of Region 1.
John Wright came in there. This was a program that, we used to talk about a lot, and then they really hit a really rough patch for a while. They were 5-7, 2-7, and 1-8 after those back-to-back 15-1 and 14-1 years. And then last year, and I remember us talking about it during the preview show, we were like, hey, this is going to be a Post team that's good, but they're young. They're going to go through, their growing pains last year. Yeah, they didn't. They absolutely dominated the season. They upset Sunray, which, was
late in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a prohibitive favorite. They took Stanford to the mat in the region final before losing, and they've continued that. 3 wins in a row. That means they're on a 13-game regular season winning streak, and they haven't been close. Now they're not playing the biggest, best teams in the world, but you don't have to. I mean, this program has figured it out. They'll have a good one this week against Slayton. We'll figure it a little bit about them, but still, really good win for them over Seagraves, 33-16.
All right, how about Lindsay 42, Pilot Point 22? What a win for Lindsay! Not only just the win, Pilot Point's a really good football team this year. And Lindsay just doubling them up like that, or almost doubling them up, says a lot about that Lindsay team. Lindsay, we know, can run the rock from last year. The question was, are they going to be able to throw the football? Well, they're kind of doing all of it offensively, and that defense has really stepped up so far this year. Lindsay's now, 3-0?
Yep, and there's a reason why we said 2A Division 2 is the toughest district in 2A. Yeah. Look, it's funny to say this because Pilot Point's 3A, but Lindsay's a bigger team, not only on size on field, but size on the roster. I contend, especially look at Collinsville. They took a weird step back last week, losing to Callisburg 41 to 21. And
41 to 27.
Sorry, 41 to 27. You're right. To compare, Pilot Point destroyed Callisburg the week before. Yeah. So just a little bit of comparison of what Lindsay did to Pilot Point. And I know, you can't play that game, but honestly, that's what we do on the show. I don't necessarily think that means Collinsville is down, but I do think right now, if we were going to play how does the district finish, I would have Lindsay maybe finishing second right now instead of Collinsville.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Hey, let's stay in the district. Let's just go to Munster, Windthorst.
Okay.
I thought this game was going to be
close. I wanted
close.
to announce my new dark horse in all of 2A, but I'll save that for the next one. Let's go to Munster.
I was just going to say, I really thought Windthorst was going to give Munster a better game. Case and Carney once again.
Windthorst put up 13 points, dude.
Case and Carney once again just dominating. 147 yards through the air, 124 yards on the ground. He right now is the prohibitive favorite for Texas 2A Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah. Dave Campbell's Built for Tough Player of the Year. I think so. Noah Peel chips in 85 yards on the ground. And that's tough.
And we're talking about a team has a stud in Garrett Hess, who's been playing, but he's a little kind of banged up. By the way, you can hear the Munster Football Show each and every week right here on L4 Media. He's a little banged up, so you're not even getting Munster 100%. I'm not ready to say, okay, maybe I was wrong about Windthorst. I still think they're going to be good. But yeah, just a little bit surprised. All right, now tell me your 2A dark horse.
Frankston, baby.
Oh,
Frankston,
my good.
Man.
You're not
Frankston,
kidding right there,
48,
brother.
Grapeland 19. Grapeland's a darn good football team. You look what so Franklin beats Grapeland 48-19. You look at what Frankston. I keep saying
hard.
Franklin,
it's
right?
really hard.
Frankston has done the last 2 weeks. Now they're 3-0. I'm telling you, Frankston might be one of the toughest teams the toughest out in the playoff in Class 2A. And, we're sitting here talking about Munster and Shiner. Frankston might be one of the better names up there that just nobody's really looking at.
Well, because they're not an established team. This is
right.
Every year we have
this team right here, this Frankston team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've got. They could easily be in Arlington if they keep this up.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brandon Donald, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. Every year there's a theme. And the theme this year seems to be good teams go in at half, a close game, and in the second half, they establish themselves. This was a 19-13 lead for Frankston going into the second half. They outscore Grapeland 29-6. Now, for Grapeland, look, they're 1-2, but they've lost to Bremont, they've lost to Frankston. But one thing that is concerning about Grapeland, and this was a team that you and I felt was going to, they're going to play a few weeks into the playoff season. Last year, they were 10-4. They returned everybody on offense, including one of the best running backs in Malik Johnson, but their defense is an issue. Even in their win to begin the season, they've now given up in 3 weeks, 41 points, 54 points, and 48 points. Now, they have a chance
against really darn good teams, though.
Well, yeah, but still, those teams are going to. Cayuga's not a great team, and they gave it 41. They beat them, but again, it's just a little bit of concern. And there's still time to. Well, I say there's still time.
Take the shine off for Frankston.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm just pointing out, the 11-2A Division II is one of those, man. They start district next week. Not this week. They've got Groveton. They'll get right with ball. But they have to start district with an Overton team that's 2-1. And I feel like Overton's kind of angry with that loss they had against Price Carlisle 2 weeks ago or last week when Overton outgained them, outpossessed them, and just couldn't put the ball into the end zone when they needed to. All right, let's keep going.
Let's talk about, we were talking about defense and all that. How about Beckville, their defense? They beat Harmony 33-10, holding Harmony to 10 points.
Yeah,
punching up, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Beckville, they started the year. Didn't they start the year off getting kind of beat pretty bad?
Well, no, their defense held. Who was it?
I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, they did. They lost 19-0.
19-0.
And then they lost to Joaquin 36-15.
Who'd they lose to 19-0 though? Who was
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
And then they lost
holding St. Augustine though. That's where I was going with this. Is in a loss holding St. Augustine, who's a very good offensive football team, to 19 points. So I think this Beckville team's going to be okay because of their defense. They were doing it offensively the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And defense is probably what they hang their hat on this year.
All right, where are we going now?
How about Weimar, man? 36. Rice consolidated 33. Weimar now is 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, we had them as one of our dark horse teams of the week. It was kind of funny because they haven't won district in a long time, but they've played in the playoffs many times. But yeah,
they're in a tough region down there.
Again, context of last year, Rice Consolidated beat them 35-0. So it just shows you the difference from last year, this year. Ganado in a shootout. I was a little surprised that how much scoring was going on between both of these teams as they beat East Bernard 56-45.
Yeah, Ganado, we'll have them. They got a big game this week on the preview section coming up here in a few minutes. But yeah, that was a big win for Ganado, giving up 45 to East Bernard in that offense, right? It's hard to imagine giving up, but 45 to that East Bernard offense. Not that they're bad, but just their offensive style. But we'll revisit Ganado here in a few minutes. What was one of the one? Oh, Wellington. That was a big one I wanted to talk about. Wellington is now 3-0. They got the best of Friona, 48-28. I think it was right.
Yeah,
26.
I can't. Maybe I'm having a hard time seeing this.
So Wellington, the Rockets now 3-0. I wasn't. I'm not sold yet on the Rockets, but I don't know. I think they got a good chance to enter the playoffs with a 10-0, 9-1 record.
And again, the theme is this game went into the fourth quarter tied 28-28. Wellington drops 20 points in that fourth quarter to stretch it out. And that's what good teams do. We're in an age, you and I was talking about it, even average teams can be competitive for multiple quarters. The good teams know when to turn it on,
Yeah.
and the Rockets again 3-0 now, quietly 3-0. Callisburg, again, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but Callisburg upsetting Collinsville.
Yeah.
I was really, really surprised about this. Now, we didn't really get an idea of Collinsville and Cooper. They beat Cooper 14-0, but that game was called in the third quarter. But this one of those, are we going to look back and go, oh, that's just one of those non-district losses that happens? Or is this a sign of something that the Pirates need the words?
Found a stroke, right?
Or is Collinsville
a little overrated, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. We were talking about defense earlier with Beckville in the lot. How about Crawford, man? 14, Hamilton 12. One of the most impressive wins, I think, of the week down in Class 2A. Crawford, man, defensive slugfest against Hamilton. Hamilton's 12 points were the only points that Crawford has allowed so far this season.
I will say,
and it was Crawford 14-12 over Hamilton.
I will say this. I think I came away, of course, impressed with Crawford. I came away impressed with Hamilton.
Did you?
You know, they're in a region that we've talked about. It's extremely, 2A Division I, Region 2 is just not strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they won it last year, and they went and took on Stanford and gave Stanford a hell of a game, losing 28-13. But like last year, they beat Crawford 38-22. But I really thought, because you and I are higher on Crawford, we think Crawford's better than they have been the last couple of years. This is one of those.
Wholeheartedly believe the Pirates are a lot better than what they have been.
This is one of those. I know it's cliche, but we both feel like both teams played well. Like both teams showed well in this game.
Right. I do want to get down to Crawford, though, and see a ball game. All right, how about Wascom 21, Shelbyville 19? Wascom runs for almost 300 yards while throwing just one pass the whole night for 10 yards.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of this. By the way, if you don't know, Wascom's playing a lot of Thursday games. So if you're a 2A fan on Thursday just looking for things, go to YouTube, type in Wascom Wildcats, or you can go to KMHT.com. That's the radio station out of Marshall. They also do a video feed.
KGAS doesn't do Wascom?
Well, they're all the same now.
Oh, okay.
KGAS owns all of those now. Yeah. Okay. So they do it under the KMHT banner.
Media empire, KGAS is.
But first off, it's funny to say this. As great as much as they ran, they struggled to put the ball in the end zone. Like when you assign those,
same thing against Garrison.
That second half, you're exactly right. After the first half running roughshod,
they had several opportunities in plus territory, one or two opportunities late in the game, in the third and fourth quarter against Garrison, where they had the ball in the red zone and just could not convert. So that'll get you beat in any division, any level of football.
Now, I will say this, and it's a competitive game, and they've been competitive, all of them, but as a team that I had as a dark horse in the Dragons, they haven't won a game yet. Now, again, they lose to Troop, and there's no shame in that. They lose to New Boston.
Troop is proving to be exactly what we thought Troop was going to be. That's a 3A show. Well, if you want to hear more about Troop, listen to our 3A show.
They lose to 3A New Boston in a shootout, and then they lose to a 2A Brethren in Wascom. So I'm a little concerned about their start. I thought that they would be better offensively, returning so much from that offense that scored so many points. But still,
I think Shelbyville's going to be fine once they get in district.
Yep.
All right. Price Carlisle. Did we bring this one up? Price Carlisle 27, St. Augustine 22. Carlisle turned 3 first half St. Augustine turnovers into touchdowns and held on in the second half to win the ball game.
Yeah, St. Augustine blocked a punt. They were up early. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was back-to-back possessions as well. And again, we keep saying it. Clay Baker has stepped in, and Price Carlisle looks closer to what they were a few years ago than what they were last year. We'll finish up on is this the last one? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll finish up on a 2A team that got drummed, but there's no shame in this. Winsboro 63, Honeygrove 28. Look, man, we keep trying
I'm
to tell
not real
people.
Concerned about Honeygrove losing to Winsboro,
no.
right? I mean, Winsboro's a top 3 team.
People need to realize this Winsboro team, and I'm not saying they're going to go as far. I think this Winsboro team is better than the one 2 years ago that lit the 3A world on fire.
It definitely is.
If I'm Honeygrove, I'm happy that Raylan Morris is still healthy, but also he ran for 200.
What was it?
220 yards.
Yeah.
I mean that's good
Average
against that
10.5 yards per carry.
Yep, that's good against that Winsboro defense.
Yeah, if I'm a Honeygrove Warrior fan, man, I'm fine. We came out without any major injuries. We put up 28 against Winsboro, which I think the Winsboro defense is probably a little undershadowed by their offense, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy if I'm Honeygrove. What's one loss? Let's go. You're punching up. Let's go.
All right, we've reviewed. Now let's pull up the 2A sheet. Oh, you can do 3 of those. That's pretty cool. Let's go into the preview section, the short section this week. Again, you're getting a lot of tune-up games before district and all that kind of fun stuff. But let's go with Lovelady versus Garrison. All right, you've got Lovelady versus Garrison. Lovelady 3-0, averaging 51 points a game. Cody James, one of the traditional, I guess, it feels like in high school, every quarterback now is a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
For Lovelady. Garrison, of course, we saw Avery Yarborough and what he could do against an athletic Wascom team.
Can he not take it to the house
at any
anywhere?
point? Yep. And, in that game, I think he had one on the ground for like 60 yards. He had a screen pass for like 60 yards. But I want to go back to Lovelady on the year, talking about what they've done offensively. They've beat Elkhart. They've beat Timpson. They've beat Groveton. They yet to have scored less than 40 points on the game. This is at Garrison. Last year, this game was 28-14. Garrison, a lot more defensive. I think this stays as a high-scoring game. I
do too. I do too. I think, we saw a few holes in Garrison's defensive game against Wascom, right?
Yeah.
Wascom at times exploited them between the tackles. I don't think they really got outside on the edges against Garrison. And I think that's going to be the same thing here. I think Lovelady with Cody James is going to be able to move the football. I think Garrison comes out with the win here, but I think this is going to be a doozy.
Oh, yeah. I think this is a 45-44 type game. I agree
like
with
Garrison, but in a very close one. Wouldn't be surprised to see Lovelady.
Oh, no. I think this is the epitome of what you'd call a pick'em game. Collinsville tries to bounce back after that upset loss last week. They take on Collinsville.
They take on Wolf City.
I mean, Wolf City. Sorry, they take on Collinsville.
They take okay, on buddy?
It's been one of those days. I feel like
need a break.
I feel like
is this too much for you?
I don't understand how. Really.
Is the pressure mounting?
March Manning right now.
Whoa.
Or the Tennessee kicker.
I see you over there grimacing, so I figured maybe you had some hurt vocal cords.
I do, man.
Your brain's not all there.
Well, look.
I don't remember.
I told you all that.
You've been hurt that way for a long time.
I told you that in private 20 years ago. I don't understand you. Wolf City bounced back if their upset loss against Quitman, and they beat Celeste last week 75-8.
Yeah, so here's two teams, Collinsville and Wolf City, who have each had a loss to teams you would think they would have beat, right? They were the victims of upsets.
Yep.
So this is the upset bowl. Who was the worst upset? I think Wolf City's to Quitman was the worst upset, right? But Quitman's a lot better than they were last year because I think Quitman has won 2 games.
No, they're 1-2, but they're a 3A program. I think Collinsville's lost to Callisburg. Callisburg had just
the word Quitman.
No, believe me,
is it just puts. I don't know.
There's going to have to be
Davis, man, for Wolf City. If he can get going, it's hard to stop them. I mean, he's averaging 150 yards or more a game rushing, right?
I think the problem with Wolf City is when you play a team like Collinsville, HD Davis isn't going to win or lose your game. You're going to need Noah Adams at quarterback to step up. And by the way, you remember the Aubrey quarterback that was 6 foot forever? Noah Adams is like 6'6". So Wolf City has one of the big quarterbacks, but you're going to need him to step. You're going to need Brennan Russell to step. They can't beat Collinsville with just HD Davis. I think Collinsville wins this game by 3 touchdowns.
Okay, well, I was trying to make it sound like I was about to pick the Wolves, but yeah, I like.
And that's not a
Collinsville.
knock on Wolf City.
I think Wolf City's going to be fine.
Again, Wolf
but
City in that region, we keep talking about it, to a Division I, Region 2, they easily could be a team I still think Hamilton's above everybody, but they easily could be a team that is playing Hamilton in that region final.
They can play with Hamilton.
Oh, I agree with that.
They have to bring their A game to stay within 2 touchdowns and to win the game, but I think they can play with them. But I like Collinsville as well. How about DeLeon 2-1 versus 2-1 Hawley? This is going to be a great game. It's over in Hawley. DeLeon's coming in with Heston Job, a quarterback who's averaging has had about 710 yards passing so far. The receivers, Jake Cooper and Max Jones, really good receivers. And then their running back, Lane Couch, very, very good. This DeLeon defense is going to be pressed by Camden Abels at wide receiver and Bryson Stoffel at running back, Jesse Nieto at receivers. So this one is going to come down to defense.
Well, both of these teams are 2-1, but they have good losses. DeLeon lost to Stanford 33-20 in week 2. Hawley lost to Albany 21-7 in week 2. I like DeLeon in this game. I do too. I'm doing the cop out simply because they're at home. If this game was in Hawley,
I think it is in Hawley.
No, it's in DeLeon.
Oh, is it? Okay.
If this game was in Hawley, I would have Hawley as the favorite. I'm going with the Bearcats.
I got DeLeon no matter where they play.
Wow, I just realized the random we see 2 Bulldogs, you see 2 Bearcats. You don't see that. I just thought about that. So I'm picking the Bearcats to win.
What's a Bearcat? I've never seen a Bearcat in the wild or even a picture of a Bearcat.
Let's see what a Bearcat is.
I know a bobcat.
That's a good point. I think
this is a fictitious.
It's called it's called a bintrong, also known as a bearcat. It's a
Do you have a picture of it you could pull up?
Yeah, look.
on the line.
What do you mean?
So everybody could see.
Oh no, it takes a little bit of time to do that. Look, just look right there.
I'm not scared of that. Looks like a badger.
Well, here's the weird thing. How did we get bearcats in Texas? They're in Asia. Inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, we both have the Bearcats winning. Here's a matchup that we had originally talked about going to: Ganado versus Tidehaven. I think this is going to be an absolute war. I mean, you've got 2 good offenses, 2 good defenses, 2 teams that believe that they're going to be playing for a state championship this year. Oh man, this is going to be a great one.
Yeah, it is. Ganado's look. Tidehaven's defense gets the just overshadowed by the offense, right? But Tidehaven's defense, when I saw them against Goliad 2 weeks ago, was outstanding. Now, Ganado's offense is going to really test this Tidehaven defense with Logan Burris at running back, who's averaging like 188 yards rushing a game. Austin Pena at receiver, Landon Arriga. I mean, that Ganado offense can go. I think Tidehaven's defense is good enough to not shut them down, because Ganado's going to be able to move the football, but they're going to be able to come up with the stops when they need it. And then Tidehaven's offense with Kel Russell, man, a quarterback, dude, that kid's got an arm. He is a tough runner in the middle. When there's nothing there, he can tuck it and go, and he's good for 7 or 8 yards. Julian Stockton, tall, lanky running back, and then 2 really good receivers in TJ Galvin and Boogie Galvin. I like Tidehaven in this one, 7 to 10 points. But this is going to be a war.
I like Tidehaven in this one. I agree with you. 7 to 10. I could see it maybe going to 14, but not much more than that. I think this is one of those games that's going to be firmly in the offenses play well, the defenses play well. 28 to 14, 35 to 21.
And this is a home game for Tidehaven, right? In El Matón, right?
No, they're in Ganado.
Are they in Ganado?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind for the boys.
I'm worried about where you're getting your game list from.
The internet. All right, Junction 3-0 taking on a 1-2 Mason team, but Mason's had a pretty tough schedule so far. They lost to Wall 48-7 and Brady 24-22. They beat the doors off of Coleman 50-9 last week, though I don't think Coleman's what they had been.
Yeah.
A few years ago. But I like Mason in this one.
Last year,
This is a big rivalry, I believe.
yes, and last year Junction only lost 2 games. One of them in the playoffs to Shiner in the region final, and the other one to Mason in this game, 35-12. I agree with you. I think this is a pick'em game, but give me Mason. I just think they're a little better.
And Mason at home.
Let me check. Yes, you got that one right.
Yay!
The internet's undefeated.
No, not undefeated. It got defeated twice.
And I want to be nice, and I do want to do this for you. This is a Bearcat.
Doesn't even look like a cat. Looks like
Or
a
a bear.
badger or a
It looks like a badger.
Wolverine.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a badger had a night out with Coach X, and they hung over the next day.
Or like when Coach X takes his pants off, and then look at those eyes. What the hell is that?
Wait,
Looks like a crayon.
you've been around? You've been around Coach X taking the pants off?
Only once, but that was on accident. So, yeah, he like pulls his pants down to pee at a urinal. He's one of those guys.
Oh,
I'm like, dude,
I've told you that.
stop.
I've told you that story.
And then he turns around while he's pulling it up, and then you see the peach crayon.
I have told you this story so many times off the air, probably on the air, but one of my memories of Marshall's run of the playoffs in the late 80s was playing in Waco against Garland Lakeview Centennial. They go into the bathroom, and I'm not going to name his name because he's still alive, but one of the PE coaches from Marshall was one of those that had the wind pants all the way down to the ankles in the urinal.
I see that all the time in men's bathrooms.
blows-
Not that I hang out in them,
like-
but when I go in and I see a guy pull them down.
If you got to pull them all the way down like that, you probably need a pee bib. Anyway,
Well, no, I think you just don't want to get it on your
That's why
the
you need
fabric because it goes through. Because I've done that numerous times.
That's
where
what I just said. You need a
you
pee
walk
bib.
out and you got a big wet spot, so you got to untuck your shirt. Luckily, I keep my shirt untucked anyway.
That's what I said. You need a pee bib. Literally said that.
A pee bib?
Yeah.
What's a pee bib?
Oh, you haven't watched the league, have you?
I have,
That's
but I don't remember.
Yeah,
the pee
Taco.
bib.
One of Taco's big inventions is a pee bib. He takes the wedding
I
napkins.
didn't see this episode.
Yeah, he takes the wedding napkins from Kevin and Jenny and he puts them on his thing. I mean, it's actually kind of a brilliant idea.
Actually, I'm going to use that this weekend in Granbury.
Anyway, that's going to do it for week 4 of the 2A edition of Sideline to Sideline. Again, next week we will have a show. I just don't know what type of show we're having, and it'll probably be recorded on Wednesday, but we'll figure something out. But until then, he's Grant Goodwin. I'm Terry Bennett. Enjoy your football and your travels. Be safe, and we'll see you next time on Sideline to Sideline, the 2A edition.